Welcome, beautiful. I am so grateful that you're here. Please pardon any sounds in the background. There may be roosters, there may be children. We just gotta go with it. Sounds of Egypt. There's a camel as my neighbor, and it's just as it is. So, I want to come in here today to share with you about the goddess. And what does this mean, and how can we start to connect with our own inner goddess? So I am mostly directing this video towards women, as I mostly serve women. However, I believe that we all have an inner goddess beyond these polarities of masculine and feminine and gender identification. We all have these archetypes within us, the goddess being one of them. So if you are not a woman or do not identify with being a woman and you still resonate with this message beyond the language, that is beautiful. So, who is the goddess? Well, I think we are all quite familiar with hearing the word God, right? Like whether or not we are religious, spiritual, whatever we believe in, we hear God used in our language super commonly, like even just in a casual sense, like, oh my God, like even if you don't believe in God, you might even say the word God because it's just so deeply ingrained in our language. However, the goddess is a little bit more elusive, a little less something that is commonly used, even though you may be hearing it more often these days as that energy is re-emerging in our reality. But it's still a little bit less, or a lot less, talked about. So what does this even mean? Well, when we talk about God, we are referring to the divine, right? Whether this can have a lot of different thoughts and contexts and ideas and illusions wrapped around it, right? There's a lot of different beliefs around God, which I'm not going to get into, but in its maybe purest sense, it's this manifestation of the divine, whatever that means for you, like this energy of source. I like to just think of it as love. And personally, I believe that this is an energy within us, inside of us. It's outside of us too, but it's also within us. It's all part of the whole that we are all intrinsically one with. So the goddess is also that. It is the divine essence of life. And we can kind of look at these in a polarized sense of God and goddess. God being the manifestation of the masculine, and goddess being the manifestation of the feminine. However, I like to look at this from a perspective of us all being gods and goddesses, us all being divine beings that contain masculine and feminine energies within us. Now, we may experience these energies in different ways depending on our gender identification, etc. But every single person, every single being, everything in existence contains both masculine and feminine energies. So without going too deeply into masculine and feminine, essentially masculine is the outward penetrative energy and feminine is the inward receptive energy. So this is yin and yang, the polar energies that make up the whole. And so when I speak about the goddess, I am speaking about activating and connecting to the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine within your being and bringing them into a state of aligned, loving wholeness. So we are often operating through our wounded masculine and our wounded feminine because we have been in patriarchy for thousands of years, which has created a battle between the feminine and the masculine, creating an illusion as if the masculine were more important or better than the feminine, creating conflict. And so we see this reflected outside of us and we experience and internalize this within our bodies. And we are carrying these wounds from long lines of generations passing on these wounds. And we feel them in our culture in a big way. So it's very common for all of us, really, for the most part, to be carrying wounds around our feminine energy and wounds around our masculine energy. So the idea is to bring them both into harmony, to bring them into their sacred manifestations. And this is a huge topic that I'm not going to go into right now, but essentially the goddess is like the being, your being, that is in alignment with both of those energies, masculine and feminine, in their sacred manifestations, connected and unified together in a beautiful harmonic dance. So you can think of it as if like the god and goddess were within you, the masculine and feminine within you, in their most radiant expressions, and they are dancing or making love within your heart. And when that happens, our whole being kind of like turns on and activates into our most blissful and joyous and beautiful expression. And so as a woman, this is what I see as embodying the goddess, living as a goddess, choosing to become the goddess that you are, is connecting to both of these energies, synergizing them, and aligning with your most radiant self. So then, as your most radiant self, how do you live your life? So one beautiful way that I have found to connect with this energy is to go within, because the goddess, like any archetype, we can think of it as an archetype or like a character, a being that exists within you that you already are, that you are just getting closer to, coming into alignment with, reconnecting with, reclaiming. Because everything, like Rumi says, right, like everything that you seek outside of you already exists within you. So one beautiful way to connect with your inner goddess is through meditation and going within and starting to tap in and inquire and feel into, who is my inner goddess? And maybe that concept seems strange to you, or maybe you're already familiar with working with different energies or archetypes, but essentially just turning on your imagination. Like, what if there was a goddess within my body? What if? Who is she? Who is this character? Like, play with it and just start to imagine what she might look like, what she might sound like, what she might speak and act like. If she were to run your life, what would your life look like? And starting to kind of play and inquire in that way is a really beautiful way to connect, because actually you already have all of the answers within you. I can give you all kinds of tools and practices and ideas, but ultimately all of this exists within you. You already are a goddess. And so it's just about tuning in and breathing into her and choosing, it's all about choice, right? Choosing to step into yourself as a goddess. So I'll leave you with that to digest for now, and I want to invite you to check out a beautiful free meditation that I created for you to do just this, to connect in with your inner goddess and to meet her and to feel what is it that she has to offer you in your life, and how can you start to align with her and live your life as the goddess. It's a beautiful meditation. It's under 20 minutes, and you can download it for free. The link is in the description below, and I'm so excited to share with you. So if you try it out, let me know how it goes for you, and I'm sending you so much love and juicy goddess blessings.